there, Sky Striker players. My name's Chris Hansen. Why don't you have a seat right over there?
What's going on, guys? Logan JYA here, and we're back to doing GG4Free top and deck profiles. And this past week, undefeated, we got Sky Strikers striking the sky with that cool girl Raye doing her thing. And that's my boy Chris, who actually went undefeated with it. My friend, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Awesome, man. I'm doing good. You know, I'm doing all right. Anyway, let's get into this profile, and we'll talk about some things, ask some questions to the duelist. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off the monster lineup, we got triple copies of Ash Blossom, Joy Spring, 1 Celeste, and Plasma, 2 copies of Valor, 2 copies of Bell, triple Nib, triple Raye, of course, and double Rose. Now, I do want to ask you, actually, this kish came to my mind. We're playing Plasma instead of Dasher. Is there any particular reason for that?
So, funny thing, this is actually based off of my actual list, but then I realized that even though this is DB and there's like no budget, I still wanted to play Plasma for the memes because my initial thought of the GG4Free was I wasn't actually going to win. I thought I was just going to top and get that turbo pack, but it still like won because it's DPE engine.
Hey, man, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And listen, in my Drytrons, I play the Plasma, but that's because we can't use Dasher. Regardless, I still love this card. Other question, I think, you know, 2 Rose is kind of a standard in Striker lists. You didn't miss the 3rd. You saw, you know, a normal summon often enough. It was good at 2.
So, I feel like Rose is only good at 3 if you feel like you're going to lose your dice rolls. Because I'm going to be fair, in games where I'm guaranteed to go first, aka the sideboard games, I will definitely cut a Rose in side deck. Because genuinely speaking, Rose going first is actually not that good. So that's why I only run 2, because 2 is so I can see the extra one for going second in case I lose the dice roll. But I mostly win my dice rolls, so I don't need 3.
Fair enough. I wish I had as much confidence as you when it comes to winning dice rolls. Besides that, we got Bell in the main. Was it putting in work in the GG4Free?
So I feel like, especially in the final against, you know, a very grindy deck, another 2019 deck, by the way. 2019 is still a year not to be slept on. I feel like it hit stuff like the Spinnies, the Wills, the Jaguars. Like, I feel like it just put in more work than I intended it to be. Because I'm going to be fair, what I was expecting was against PKs and Sword Souls. I went up against a Sword Soul in round 1. It didn't come up, so I sided it out. But then when I got into the final, I figured it did decent, so I just kept it in for all 3 games, you know?
Yeah, of course. It makes sense to me. All right, let's slide into the spells real quick. Of course, we got the 2 Fusion Destiny. Excuse me. We've got the 2 copies of Fusion Destiny, currently at 2 because of the limited Forbidden list. The 1 of copy of Mystic Mind, kind of a staple in control decks like Striker. Triple copies of Pot of Prosperity. You know, you got to do your pot. We got 1 Rhoda, 1 Area 0, 1 Afterburners, 1 Hornet Drones, 1 Shark Cannon, triple Dank Anchor, 1 of the multi-roll, 1 Engage, and then 1 Terraforming. So I think in the DPE builds, the 1 Area 0 and the 1 Shark Cannon is standard. But I want to ask, going forward, is there anything you change with these ratios, or is this how you like it?
So I was thinking, like, I could probably put in an extra, like, Shark Cannon, because I'm moving in. I was seeing some Brave PK in testing, and I was like, I didn't like the Torn skill popping off. Or at that point, that was just me cutting another Striker spell for, like, a 3rd Ghost spell, or maybe just, it depends on my dice rolls realistically. I gotta have more faith.
That's fair. That's fair. That makes sense. I mean, again, though, you have talent, so you clearly open the cards you need, and you win the dice rolls when you need to. Moving on, we'll go through these traps real quick. Got triple Imperm, triple Tikaboo. Was Tikaboo your trap of choice? Were you happy with it? Would you change it in the future, or did it do exactly what it needed to do?
Oh, so it did, like, excellent. And then, oddly enough, when I was going up against the solid player, even though he was playing all Cybers, he somehow main decked TC Boo, which I found weird, because, like, okay, in that scenario, I just kept on areas doing my own TC Boos because he had their own TC Boo, you know, so I just kept it. But, like, against other decks where you don't see some weird jank style deck with TC Boo in the main deck, TC Boo puts in really good work. Like, against the Sword Soul player, they, like, insta-scoop that they're seeing the TC Boo in, like, game 2.
Right, and it also puts in work against the PKs, puts in work against the Drytrons unless they see Diviner. It's a good card in general, so, you know, definitely makes sense. Sideboard, we're going to go through this real quick. Got triple copies of Lancia, triple Droll, triple Cosmic Cycle, and triple Shared Ride, one Red Reboot, and double Solemn Judgment. I think everything in here makes sense with the exception of the Shared Ride. I did want to ask you how that fared for you and what you think it's good against in the current meta. I have an idea, but please, if you don't mind explaining, I think it'd be good to hear from you.
So, Emergence is busted, and then so is Right, because Right, and then
Right.
Fateful Adventure. Those are 2 free draws if you kind of think about it. But then I can't believe I'm using a rogue deck this many times in a video. But against the Salad matchup, that actually put in some mad work. Like I got almost like 4 cards out of my my Shared Ride in the final. I'm pretty sure you were like so you saw that. So
Yeah.
it was putting in work.
The poor fool. Why did he keep going that hard? I don't know. I will never know. But regardless, fair enough. Moving into the extra deck, we're going to round this out real quick. We got the 1 copy of the DPE Mr. Phoenix Enforcer, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Halki right in my Fibrax, 1 Verte Anaconda, 1 Celine the Queen, double Hayate, triple Kagari, 1 Kaina, triple Shiz, and then the 1 Zeke. So I see we have the Hulk into access code line in here. Did that come up for you at all during the tournament? Does it come up for you in general? What do you think about this?
So in general, I think it's like actually like the secondary engine to my DPE. In the tournament, I must say I've only had it like attempt to come up in 1 game. However, I was messed with a Swift Ash Blossom on the Hulk, so I just continued to, activate Hornet, make a Kagari, add back my Engage, make Verte, and probably like disband in the whole lineup as a whole because my thing was interrupted, so I couldn't make the access code to go for game.
And you were only playing 2 Hayate. Did you ever miss the 3rd copy, or was 2 enough?
So, I feel like 2 is only necessary. You could play 3 because what I banish off of pot, this is actually important. So what you banish off the pot mostly, the 3rd Shizuku rarely ever comes out unless you're in a serious grind game. Against decks like Drytron, you can't grind with Drytron. Either you have to, beat them in 2 turns, or they just win because they have more board presence. You banish Kagari because of that. So mostly, other than Drytron, which, by the way, very good deck. Thank you for still making deck proposals so that.
You already know, bro. You already know. Draikage got to do what he got to do.
Yeah, you banish a Shizuku, a Zeke, or a Kaina, or this comes up. But if you have Fusion Destiny in hand, you banish the Anaconda instead of a Zeke or your Kaina, depending on your personal preference. I don't suggest you to go standard combo bread and butter because that rarely ever wins you games. You need to actually know the deck in and out, and you banish accordingly to what you banish. I'm just telling you what I banish specifically, just in case the meta sheeps out there kind of want to wonder what to banish off Prosperity.
Of course, and I totally understand. Prosperity really does come up to the matchup that you're playing against or your own personal preference. I couldn't agree more. You have to read your own hand to know what line you see yourself doing, to know what to banish, whether it be in Striker, whether it be in Drytron. If you're still playing Prosperity in Drytron, please hit my line because I can help you fix your brain. Of the like. It just, Pendulum, there's so many different decks that play Prosperity right now. It all comes on to what's going on up here. And you kind of got to get that read going so you know what you're going to do. I couldn't agree more. Outside of that, bro, the deck looks good. It looks strong. Obviously, Striker is a capable deck in the hands of a good pilot, and you clearly have proven yourself to be a good pilot. If you guys want to play in free tournaments, be sure to slide through to the GG4Free, every Wednesday on the Logan JYA stream. Link in the description down below. You can check it out. Before we close things out, Chris, are there any shout-outs you want to give before we get into this replay?
Yeah, I have a few. So, shoutouts to my boy Dalvin for being a good striker player and unironically giving me the prosperity banishes before the tournament. Shoutouts to my boys Kingston and Caden for joining VCs with me every day. And shoutout to my opponents for bricking or just misplaying overall. I appreciate them for kind of misplaying a little bit. There's one opponent that actually played decent. It was not the Salad player. It was actually the Pendulum guy. He actually played decent. The sad part is I sacked him with so many cards.
That's true. The Pen player that you played against is one of my close personal friends. Him and I are both on the Penned wave, so yeah, you totally sacked him. We watched that happen. You didn't deserve that win, but you got it.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. Yeah.
It's all good, brother. You still smoked them, and sometimes that's half the battle, is being the more talented player, aka the luckier player. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Logan, JY, signing off. Have a great day, and I will see you chumps later. Peace out. Take care.
意志逆走四角い空心の隙間埋め